show you the power of flex tape, I made this boat!
So let's take it out on the water. I could just show you how the boat worked out, but to give you an appreciation of what this took, I'm going to take you back in time a little bit. Our Prometheus Philip Swift once told us we can saw a boat in half and repair it using only flex tape. Now, without questioning Prometheus, I wondered, can I make a boat out of flex tape? So I drew this picture and I designed this boat. Now, this design is a PVC frame which I'll wrap in flex tape to keep the water out. Now, I'm a little worried about this design, so I think it might be too small. That is, I don't know if it's buoyant enough to hold my weight. Now, buoyancy is a force applied by a fluid onto an object which displaces the fluid equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. To explain that, I'll send you over to Science Man. The water pushes the boat up. See if we get an aspirin. Thank you, Science Man. Now, the reason I don't just make the boat bigger is because flex tape is expensive. On that same note, I'll be testing it with duct tape. Now, duct tape is no flex tape. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is cheaper. So it'll be easy to test with, and if the test goes good, I'll just replace it with flex tape. And if it doesn't, I can change the design and test it again without wasting any flex tape. So let's get to it. Now, I didn't really feel like doing math, so I just figured 45 degrees, 1 foot tall, 1 foot to the center of it, square root of 2, 17 inches, cut it, put it together, and realize that it doesn't come to a point at the end. Now, I thought this would be negligible, but it actually is about 6 inches. So recut it, cut 10 2-inch sections for the joints, put it together, and I'm done. With one end. Now hold on a second, let me just Control C, Control V. Ah, there we go. Now that I got the ends done, I just gotta put them together with the spacer, and I'll be ready to put the tape on. I asked for this. Now the frame's done, but it's getting pretty late, and I can't really test this in the dark, so I'll just wait till morning to tape it up, and then we'll test it then.
I gotta get the duct tape.
Now, duct tape has different grades.
Got your 50 mile an hour, 100 mile an hour, 200 mile an hour.
And these different grades obviously have different strengths and prices. Now, I'm not saying the most expensive duct tape is the strongest, but I am saying the strongest is probably the most expensive. Now, long story short, the duct tape I'll be using is stronger than the cheetah print duct tape that you wrapped your 7th grade math binder in. Now, I got this maximum strength duct tape, so let's wrap it up. Now, like I mentioned, I didn't really feel like doing math, so I ran out of duct tape. I already got more of those, so I'll just keep going. Now, I know it's not sealed yet. This is just the first layer down, but I'm gonna hop in and see how it fits. It's not so bad. Alright, I'm gonna hop out and add the next layer. Oh. That's a problem. I got the second layer on, but before I take this to the water, I'm gonna run extensive tests to make sure that this is sealed. Looks good. Well, the boat's ready to test. Took 2.5 rolls of duct tape, and really it's not that good. It's just good enough that I'm willing to test it. Except for it's too dark again. I managed to spend a whole day putting duct tape on a boat. Anyways, I'll test it out in the morning. I mean it this time. Well, the weather's finally cooperating where I can test this boat, except for the sun, that is. Now, it's not that I don't have faith in this boat, it's just I'm being realistic. Now, I really hope the boat floats, but I'll settle for it just not leaking. Because if it leaks, then the test is useless. But if it sinks, but it doesn't leak, then I at least know it's a failure and I have to redesign the boat. Anyways, let's test the boat. Well, water's already pouring in, so... Well, the boat's leaking, but I decided I'm not going to let this be a complete failure. I think it's slow enough I can hop in and at least see if it'll float with me in it, so... Well, it holds my weight, I think if I sat down it'd balance better, but it's filling up with water quite rapidly. So I'm going to pull this out. But a leak's nothing that flex tape can't stop. Up until now, this thing was just a proof of concept. I honestly didn't know if it was going to float. I haven't been doing math in this video, and it's already screwed me over twice. This easily could have been a third time. The only reason I made it this size is because I sat down on the floor with a tape measure and figured I'd fit. And now it floats. Even with a leak, I took this thing back out on the water for another 10 minutes before it finally sunk. Even when it sinks, it floats.
Go to sleep. What have I done? Oh, you're fine. All right.
Now I think all those bubbles coming up while I was drowning, it was trapped air in the PVC. I haven't glued the fittings yet. In case I needed to change the design, I figured I'd be able to save the fittings. But now that I know it'll work, I don't see any reason why not to glue it. Then after that, the only thing I gotta do is put the flex tape on. Now unfortunately, the duct tape has taught me I'm gonna need more flex tape than I expected. And I don't think the seams are gonna seal up. Now the flex tape is 8 inches, whereas the duct tape's only 2 inches. So there will be a lot less seams, but I don't think it's going to seal either way, and I'm only using one layer. So I'm going to get a can of the spray-on Flex Seal and coat the whole thing just to be safe. But first I'm going to take a shower and put some pants on.
What the hell are you doing in here?
Well, I was thinking in the shower, and the PVC was a really tight fit to put together, so I don't know if I really need to glue it. Not to mention, I don't think the trapped air will add that much buoyancy, and I don't really want to take it apart. The flex tape should hold it anyways.
Oh no.
Flex tape's on. Took 7 rolls. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I ran out of flex tape, and I had to go get more. I used the clear flex tape because all the colors cost the same, and well, clear is the coolest. I haven't put the Flex Seal on yet because I want to try it with just the tape. Now, I don't think it's gonna seal up, and that's not a knock against flex tape. It's just the way I had to put the tape on, there's a lot of folds in the seams, and I'm pretty sure all those folds are gonna leak. But I want to try it anyways and see how well it does. But I can't test it right now because it's raining. But you don't have to worry, because the next thing you see will be the test. Weather's good, so let's sink this boat. Yeah, I know the water's green. I'm trying here. Well, it's leaking faster than the duct tape. Well, I expected it to leak. So now I'll just spray on the Flex Seal. I put the flex tape on, and I did let it cure. And I had put some extra flex tape on the folds to help seal out the water. But I'm pretty sure it's going to flow even with a leak, just like the duct tape. And since this is test number 3, I figured I'd up the ante and take it out on shark-infested water. You don't buy that? Alright, let's test it. Let's take it out on the water. Well, it's still leaking. It's a little bit slower. About the same as the duct tape was. I'm stuck. Well, that was a journey. Now that we're getting close to the end of the video, I figured I'd take this time to answer a few questions you might have. Now, obviously this boat's not the best, but I can't blame that entirely on Flex Tape. But I also can't give much credit to Flex Tape. The way the boat is designed, I can't put the Flex Tape on flat, so there's folds in the seams. And I can't really blame Flex Tape for not sealing where it just isn't connected. But on the other hand, if Flex Tape was cheaper, I would have been able to put several layers on, and that might have sealed it up. That's why the duct tape did as well as it did. I had 2 layers on, and I could have put a lot more before it even got close to the price of Flex Tape. But I'm not here to judge the value of Flex Tape. I just wanted to make a boat. And I did. Sure, it leaks, but it still floats. So technically I made a boat. A poorly made boat.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Catch you next time.